Not giving up does not always look heroic. Sometimes it looks small, tired, and almost invisible. It looks like someone sitting by the window in the late afternoon, unsure of everything except the fact that they are not ready to quit today. That was where Sun found himself. And over many quiet evenings with a notebook and a little sunlight on the desk, he learned that persistence is not always about intensity. Often it is about returning gently, again and again, until the life you want begins to trust you back. Sun had once believed that persistence meant fire. He thought people who never gave up were the ones who felt endlessly driven, full of energy, certain about what they wanted, always ready to push harder. But life had taught him something different. Real persistence, at least in his life, looked much less dramatic. It looked like trying again after a week of doubt. It looked like opening the notebook after several blank days. It looked like staying with a path even when no visible result had arrived yet. It looked like choosing one more small effort without the reward of excitement. Sun had been working towards something quiet and important to him for a long time. A body of work, a skill, a future he could not quite prove to anyone yet. And because the progress was slow, there were many days when he wondered if continuing made sense at all. He did not want to quit, but he was tired of beginning over and over. That afternoon, the room was glowing with the familiar softness of late sunlight. The edges of the desk were warm. A pencil cast a long shadow across the notebook. The air held the stillness of a day moving gently toward evening. Sun sat down and looked at the blank page. He had not done much that week, not because he did not care, because caring for something deeply while seeing little progress can quietly wear a person down. It creates a special kind of fatigue, the fatigue of continuing without applause. After a while, he wrote, "Why is it so hard to keep going?" The answer came slowly. Because I want proof. Because slow progress makes me question myself. Because I compare my behind-the-scenes life to other people's visible results. Because I am afraid my effort will lead nowhere. Because I confuse being tired with being meant to stop. He stopped at that last line. How many times had he assumed that discouragement meant the path was wrong? How often had he mistaken emotional fatigue for a sign that he should give up entirely? But maybe tiredness was not a message to quit. Maybe it was simply a message to soften the way he continued. He turned the page and wrote a second question. What does not giving up really mean? Not forcing, not rushing, not proving. Returning. Continuing quietly. Keeping a promise to myself in smaller ways. Staying close to what matters. The phrase, returning quietly, stayed with him. It felt gentler than all the harsh slogans he had seen about discipline and success. It felt more human, more survivable. Maybe never giving up did not mean charging forward with endless force. Maybe it meant learning how to come back without shame after every discouraged day. Maybe it meant building trust with yourself by returning one honest step at a time. The golden light lowered across the page. Made a small list. Open the project. Work for 25 minutes. Stop before resentment. Write what I learned. Return tomorrow. That final line mattered most. Return tomorrow. Because persistence, he realized, was not won in one big decision. It was built in the repeated willingness to come back. To sit in the same chair under the same evening light with the same uncertain heart and still offer one more piece of effort. So he began, not dramatically, just honestly. He worked for 25 minutes, then closed the file and wrote a few notes in the notebook about what felt clearer than before. The room was quiet. The work was unfinished. Nothing magical had happened, but something real had happened. He had returned, and that return mattered more than inspiration ever could. In the days that followed, he kept using the same method. Smaller sessions, less self-punishment, more rhythm, more respect for the emotional weight of long effort. He stopped asking every day to prove something huge. He started asking it only to help him remain in motion. 1 page, 1 hour, 1 small improvement, 1 honest return. Weeks later, he could feel the shift. The work was growing, yes, but more importantly, he was becoming the kind of person who no longer abandoned himself every time progress was slow. He was learning how to stay, how to continue without needing constant emotional reward. That is a quieter strength than people usually celebrate, but it may be a deeper one. Because lives are not only changed by grand bursts of effort, they are changed by the people who keep returning after doubt, after fatigue, after silence, after invisible seasons. And return, when practiced long enough, becomes a kind of devotion. Never giving up is not always loud. It does not always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like a tired person choosing not to disappear from their own path. Sometimes it looks like doing less, but doing it again tomorrow. Sometimes it looks like protecting the rhythm instead of chasing the feeling. If you are tired, that does not automatically mean the dream is wrong. It may simply mean you need a gentler way to keep going. Because persistence is not only about strength, it is also about tenderness, about learning how to return without shame, about staying with what matters even when progress is quiet. And often, that is how beautiful things are built. Not in one perfect season, but in many ordinary evenings where someone chooses to begin again. If this spoke to you, comment, "I will return tomorrow." Subscribe for more warm, quiet life stories about discipline, healing, and steady growth.